Hello and welcome to World Insight, coming to you from the foot of the Great Wall at the International Horticultural Exhibition, or Beijing Expo 2019, which concludes today. Believed to be the largest ever gardening show in the world, the Expo is a keen platform to demonstrate the relationship between human beings and nature. Over the past 5 months, I've been visiting pavilions and gardens right inside the Expo Park and talked to people from different parts of the world. And that is why today we're bringing you a collection of conversations and certainly great memories. Let's go to Qatar first. After Beijing, Qatar will host the International Horticultural Exhibition in Doha 2021. That's why I visited the pavilion at the Expo and talked to my longtime friend who I got to know over the past 5 months, Fayqa. You are responsible for every plant, every brick, every chair, every ceiling of the whole pavilion and the whole garden. What's it like to build it from scratch?
We started in 2017. In December, we came here in winter. It was freezing when I chose this location with the land and with the size of this garden. It was really something special for me. I worked very hard with my team to make this dream to become successful. We want to give our friend in China something very special. We give them something where they deserve it to have it, to invite them to come and visit my country.
You got 30,000 people, at least recently.
Yes, 39,000 before 2 days. So we finished, we reached 2 million before 5 days, and now I think 2 million above something.
I'm not sure whether the Chinese really enjoy the queuing time. Usually it's not the practice, but they still lined up very long line, even today, the last day, right in front of your door.
Because we are contacting while they are outside. We are going to them, we are meeting them, we are talking to them. We give the children some gifts and some t-shirts, some pins. So they are contacting us while they are waiting outside. So they are still inside the garden, even they are queuing.
Which part of the pavilion they enjoy the most? The traditional part?
Honestly, it's traditional, exactly, because they are trying our food, trying our custom clothes, trying our tattoo henna, to try how we are wearing, how we are acting, and we have the handicrafts also. They take information about how the life in Qatar in the past. Also, they saw some project in Qatar in the future tree, which is information about the World Cup, about the next Expo, which is in 2021. So people that really want to know what's Qatar, where is Qatar, and what they do.
There seems to be enormous amount of curiosity you developed, and they have it also from the very beginning about Qatar. Are you amazed by that?
Really, for me, when I see people, they are coming especially to see Qatar and contacting with us in WeChat, and this is very big thing. This has touched my heart. I feel that they are really in touch with us. So people who are coming near the entrance, they said, "Where is Qatar gardening?" And when I walk in any corridor in this expo, I said, people asking, "Excuse me, where is Qatar? Where is Qatar?" And when they saw me, they know that I am from Qatar. So this is, for me, it's really touched my heart.
The Chinese tourist is going to have the opportunity, because of the visa-free now policy from Qatar, to visit your country. Would this provide them a glimpse of your country so that they can develop their knowledge about your country to be based on?
And we have now, we signed contract with the government on China, and this contract is agreement to bring the Chinese people to visit their second country and to see Qatar. Especially, we have some activities and some occasion in winter. The weather is amazing. Here in winter, it will be very freezing, so they can come and enjoy their winter in Qatar. So we have big groups that are coming each 2 months to Qatar. It's really big number, and there is a special program for them. They really enjoy. They like in Qatar Souk Waqf. Same the history tree, which is everything about the tradition and the past of Qatar. They like to try our food. For me, I shocked because what I heard that Chinese people, they don't like to eat foreigner food. But when they come to Qatar, they don't visit Chinese restaurants. They eat only our traditional, our local food, and they try to wear our clothes. They try to go where the Qatari people are going. This is very interesting.
Many Chinese come here and see Fayqa, and they were amazed that it is a woman that representing Qatar and the garden of Qatar and the pavilion of Qatar here at the World Expo. That's very different from their original image of Qatar, the role of women, for example.
In Qatar, women, they are like taking very important role. We take this from His Highness Sheikh Moza, the mother of the Emir of Qatar. Her Highness, she's our guide for this mission. We are following her, and we are taking all this inspired from her. So we are doing what she's doing. We are just following.
So the role of, so the important roles of role models in a way.
Yeah, and she's the first woman in Qatar who started this mission to show how the Qatari woman, she's very fit with this position, and she can do big and difficult things. I am here in this country alone and doing this difficult job because of what? Because she's encouraging us to do this, and we find ourselves we can do it.
What about the future of the garden and also the pavilion? What do you say?
I think China government, they will take care of this garden, and they appreciate it because I see how they are impressed about the design and about the culture and about the content of this garden, and they will take care of it because they have the Olympic and they can use it as like offices and after like a cafe, restaurant. There is a lot of plans. I don't know what they will do, but I'm sure they will take care of it and they will treat it very specially.
You told me earlier before this interview, it was the craziest time before the whole expo started, for you personally.
Yes.
Tell us more about that story.
It was before the opening, because we worked like 24 hours in this place. It was winter, very cold, and there is a rain and there is like a shower. We've been working day and night, and sometimes they don't allow people to enter the park, or there is no cars to access the site. So we've been walking like long distance to be here and to stay till early morning to finish this garden, to ensure that it's open on time and to be available for all the visitors on time. So this was really crazy time for us, but in the opening was something very successful for us, especially when the biggest leader in the opening day, they choose Qatar as one of the site visit to visit our garden the first day of the opening. So for us this is very meaningful, why they are choosing China garden, and after China garden, Qatar. This is very special for me, and it's make me feel that this is appreciation from the government of China to our work and our successful garden.
So what's next? Of course, 2021, it will be in Qatar, the expo. Any plans?
We are promoting our garden here. We have like a section, special section to promote our expo, and there is a master plan to invite people to come, invite other international gardens to participate in our expo, also to invite Chinese friends to visit our expo and to see more about horticulture and gardens in Qatar.
All the best.
Thank you.
Exploring the expo is like traveling around the world. Earlier, I toured exhibitions and pavilions such as that of Germany and the DPRK, bearing the dynamic between humans and nature in mind. Take a look. Nature does not hurry, yet it accomplishes all. That is believed to be said by Lao Tzu, an ancient Chinese philosopher more than 2,500 years ago. It is illustrating the beautiful relationship between human beings and nature. 2,500 years later, at the foot of the Great Wall in China, the International Horticultural Exposition is being held. With more than 100 different countries participating, people from all over the world are trying to gather together and articulate their current understanding of their relationship with the grand nature. Many of them are holding exhibitions inside the International Pavilion, the beautiful architecture right behind me. For example, here I'm in the Germany Pavilion, and I have a friend, Tarik, coming from northwestern part of Germany here, help us to understand better. So what's going on here? It seems a lot of projects at the same time.
Yes, well, this is just one project.
Yeah.
We have an example right here. It's from the west of Germany, from the rural area, and it is about renaturalizing the former industrial area into a green habitat.
So have you ever visited there?
I have been there actually and visited a museum that's also at the site, and I also went down a mine. And over here you can actually take a ride down the elevator into the mine and see what fossils you will find along the way.
And what about this? This is a place I'm always fascinated about.
Yes, that is something else I have to show you. That is a typical cabin for us in Germany.
Yeah.
We have in our so-called Schrebergarten. Those are small gardens we have that are a little outside of the city, and those are for the city people. So the city people don't have enough space in the city to have their own garden.
Yes.
And so this is their chance to have a garden, to plant flowers, to maybe even have their own herbs.
National pavilions like that of Germany are scattered around the 503 hectares of land here in the exposition park. Some are rather familiar countries, while other countries remain mysterious. I'm right now standing in front of the DPRK Pavilion. The sculpture right behind me certainly is showing the aspiration for peace. Let's go in and check out what's available there. So there's a whole collection of stamps coming from the DPRK, ranging from traditional paintings to the current events. So this is a nice handicraft coming from the DPRK, a traditional story about how young couples got to know each other and have a beautiful life. And certainly this is the Kungang Mountain in the DPRK, Mount Kungang. So when you are at the International Horticultural Exposition, when you have people from more than 100 different countries and regions around you, there could always be beautiful surprises. The United Kingdom has a world-renowned reputation in landscape design and botany, and its participation in 2019 Beijing Expo aims to create more opportunities for government scientists and businesses to work together and create a greening world. That's what I learned from my conversation there with Sara and Ahmed. This is already the last day, so obviously people are enjoying it, even for the last moment. Sara.
That's absolutely right. We're really excited. We've had over 1 million visitors
Wow.
to this garden, and the last few days have been particularly busy. So
You were
it's
here
very
at the
exciting.
very beginning of it.
I was indeed here right at the very beginning, in those cold, wet days of late April.
Today, of course, it's already deep into the autumn for Beijing.
That's right.
How is your garden and pavilion trying to cater to the seasonal changes? You know, in northern part of China, that's quite a challenge.
Oh, it is, and we've got a very good gardener to look after the garden. If you had been here from the beginning, you would have seen the colours change and morph as you went through the period. And you know, the colours around the garden, particularly the wild meadow, it had beauty bright. You had purples and yellows, which are now changing. You can see the softer colours coming out.
Beautiful fountain as well.
That's right. Well, fountains are a central part of traditional British gardens, but what we're doing in the UK now is creating these wonderful water features in public spaces so that everybody can enjoy them. So this garden's like a small park in a way. We've got both the natural woodlands and meadowland around us, cultivated gardens, and a city landscape. And the fountain is right in the middle, so everybody can enjoy every part of it.
The kids, I can already hear them screaming
Yeah.
in the background.
That's right. And
Every day.
That's right. And sometimes people shout at the fountain thinking that's going to help bring the water up.
Does it help?
No, it's on a
It doesn't work
program.
that
It's
way.
on a program.
You know, you're coming here at a very special time because this is the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. This is also the national day holiday that people are having, the last day of it. And you can see very different generations of the Chinese and people coming from all over the country. Ahmed.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a diversity of people. It's not just the different ages, but it's the people from the various different provinces. Everyone's different. When you've lived here and you've stayed here for such a long time, you start seeing those elements of differences. The differences in the sounds, even though I'm not a Chinese speaker. Understanding the slight differences, and that's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, think about also your job is amazing, Sara and Ahmed. You've been traveling around the world in order to present the best gardens from your country to the rest of the world. But you know how to make sure it's going to be different every time, and how to make sure it's going to cater to the taste of the locals, but at the same time provide inspirations internationally.
That's right. Well, the different expos we've attended all are different types of expos, so they're not all about gardens. This one is very specifically about gardens, and so we wanted to really show not just what a British garden looks like, which is often planted in a very different way to what you might find in China, but also what the natural scenery looks like, what a natural woodland looks like, or a meadowland. Often people say to us, are you going to cut this, the meadow? And we say absolutely not, because this is wild, because we need to preserve our wild landscapes as much as build and create beautiful gardens. So we're hopefully showing a little bit of both.
Talking about the wild garden, in a way, quoting your words, earlier I talked to a landscape professor coming from the UK as well. Let's listen to what he had to say. Hey James.
Hello, it's
Good
to
to
meet
see
you.
you.
Yes, you too.
Finally, I see the conductor of this crazy ensemble, as you said, in one of the descriptions of your garden.
Indeed, yes. Now my job is to try to make it all behave in an appropriate way.
But tell us exactly what are the ideas behind this. You know, it looks not necessarily like a typical so-called beautiful garden, but rather a very unique one.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I didn't want it to look like a conventional Chinese beautiful garden. What I really wanted to look like, there's two ideas here. One is, it's a sort of, in some ways it's a metaphor for the Belt and Road Initiative and about ideas moving east and west, you know. And secondly, it's about, it's a nature garden. So it's to try to produce vegetation that looks like you would get, say, in many ways on a hillside in Beijing, only the plants come from different places, obviously.
So all of these plants are carefully chosen.
Yeah, they're all chosen because we need to produce a long season of flowering interest all the way through to October.
So tell us about some of those things and why they are here in your crazy garden.
Well, the plants here, all the plants in this area here, and then this gravelly area, they're all plants from very dry sort of habitats.
Like this?
Yeah, this comes from Southern Europe, for example.
Oh, okay.
And this comes from Central Asia.
Of course.
And so, but they're all dry plants.
Yeah.
And they have different heights. So these flower from about here.
Yeah.
And there were bumps, and they're like three different layers. There were bumpy things, there were flat things, there were sticky up things.
Right. So you want this different shapes.
Yeah, I want to have these
heights?
different sort of lines, essentially, in space. So you have moundy forms, you have things which stick out, and then you have things which are really quite tall.
And you gather them from different parts of China and also even along the Silk Road.
Along the Silk Road, some of these things go all the way to Europe, and actually a few of them go beyond Europe, I have to say. And some of them, you know, some of the things we've gathered ourselves, you know, for seed in China with various nurseries, etc. So some of them we've actually collected as seed from the wild.
Well, that's my conversation with a professor from the UK on landscape. Obviously, it's a new Silk Road garden he was talking about. Ahmed.
Yes, he was, and here we've tried to showcase, you know, the kind of the centre of British gardens. I mean, one thing I would like to say here is, and I'm showing people around, is you know, what we try to showcase here is how we, I mean, with our urban garden and kind of the more cityscape gardens, is how we in the UK, in our own homes, what our gardens look like. And for me, trying to bring that out and, you know, explaining to people what my garden, our home looks like, has been really valuable. And having that kind of interaction with people here has just been amazing.
With the gardens, people always have some ideas. Sara, to you, what are those ideas?
Increasingly, we are learning how important it is to be in a garden for our well-being. And in Britain today, we are creating gardens especially to help people restore and improve their health. So there's a lot of work going on now to examine the benefits and the positive impact on physical and mental illness by being in beautiful gardens where the plants, whether it's through their scent or their touch or their colour, actually stimulate all the senses in our body, and that helps us feel better. So that's a really important message that we've been wanting to share with our visitors.
What about that search of meaning between you and nature for yourself? You know, doing these kind of expos at different times of the year in different countries.
Well, I have to say that having the possibility to live in a garden and work in a garden for several months, it really couldn't be a more wonderful experience. I mean, expos are enormous fun because of the international collaboration that they bring, and so many different cultures coming together to share their ideas and their thoughts on whatever the theme might be. But here in Beijing, in this largest ever horticultural expo, it's been really a privilege to literally work inside a garden every day, and I know that I feel better every time I'm in the garden.
This is the last day of the expo. What's going to happen to the expo site, and what are about these gardens and pavilions which you guys have been working so hard on? Any hope from your side?
Yeah, I mean, we want it to continue as it is. I mean, we've created a wonderful garden. The hope is for it to be maintained and to live on, and to, you know, go through the seasons and whatnot for many seasons to come. And we have been in discussions with Expo in terms of, you know, this garden, you know, maintaining and having a life as it has over the last 6 months.
We're very pleased that we are able to leave this garden. The UK is very happy to be donating this garden to the Expo Park, to the future park, so that it will stay here and continue to thrive and flourish, and part of the building as well. We're also planting cuttings from some of the plants we already have here, so they will go into the ground very soon and they will bloom next year.